Hey guys, Jinsk here. I'm super excited. Today is the first day of the season. I've got 10 games in with my buddy Monk. He usually plays Windwalker, he went Mistweaver, and we had a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We did 10 games, we won all of the games. We played some lower rated players, but then the two last games were actually against two 5k plus players. It was against a rank 1 rogue the last game, against a rank 1 rogue, and against a 2.8k paladin. It was a really fun game. It was really hard, of course, because it's a sub rogue, but it was fun. Uh, so why am I making this video? Yesterday on the forums, I will leave all the link. I will leave the link below. But yesterday on the forums, I actually asked if people want to be given any tips. Just leave them there, and I would answer some questions, because I think people are overreacting a bit. Yes, affliction it's not S tier like skill cap says. It's around, I would say, B minus tier, but it's better than BFA, right? And Legion. So let's have some fun until they actually buff the class. Let's have some fun. Let's do some games. Let's not beat ourselves up a lot if we lose, because it's normal. Okay. So I'm gonna start by reading the questions or what people told me, and let's go on that. By the way, I'm not editing the video, so sorry for any mistakes or anything. I don't have a script. Yeah, I'm not a YouTuber or a streamer. But let's start. Being a class that has to ramp up a lot in a very bursty meta. First mistake, thinking that Affliction is actually not good in bursty metas. Wrath of the Lich King pacing was, I would say, even was a bit faster than currently we have. Okay, Wrath of the Lich King pacing was super fast. It was like lightning speed fast. That's actually when Van Rookie died before blocking. In case you don't know, it was in an MLG against Beastcleave, and it was pretty normal. Why? Because the pacing was so fast. You had comps that just killed you in the first 20 seconds, okay? So, and Affliction was really good in Wrath of the Lich King. In case you don't know, Affliction was insane in Wrath of the Lich King. It had the survivability to at least survive the burst. But yeah, a bursty meta it's good. Why? Because Affliction, the main point of playing Affliction is to rot people. And even though right now you can't really do that well because you die, but once they buff, it's gonna be super fun. Because Affliction, the good thing about Affliction is you rot people to around 50%, 60% damage, HP, and then your other DPS finishes off. So Affliction is actually insane in bursty metas, okay? Yes, it takes a bit to ramp up. You don't instantly win like a sub-rogue MM Hunter, but if you survive their cooldowns, you shouldn't be losing, okay? And if you keep surviving, they will start to rot. You will be winning a lot of games by just rotting people, okay? Why? Because the damage is high. So if the damage is high, your other DPS will actually finish them off. So bursty meta has nothing to do with being bad, okay? Right now we are bad because we can't survive, okay? It's not because of the burst itself, it's because of the lack of survivability. We are the only class without damage mitigation, a true damage mitigation, okay? Or lower cooldowns, like monks for example, they don't have damage mitigation, but they have a lot of cooldowns to replace that. Same with mages, okay? How can we pump out Maldiva levels of damage? It's simple, just practice, do your PV rotations on 2 dummies. Just enable war mode, just try to keep unstable affliction, all of your dots. I'm gonna give you a tip on this one, and listen up. It's simple. If there's if there's a kick available to the enemy team before you cast, just read out. Just read out. Of course, if it's on full duration already, don't read out, but just know the kick durations for the other team. So, for example, if you're facing a rogue, the kick duration is 5 seconds, so at 7 seconds before you start casting, just redot, just reapply agony, just reapply corruption, and then you cast. Even if you fake, it was good that you did that, because then you don't need to reapply them. after you get the unstable affliction. And in case if you get kicked, your dots won't fall off while kicked into a stun. Okay, so just every time you're gonna cast, be sure that you have dots on both targets. Okay, in case you get kicked. Everyone gets kicked, even at high ratings. You get kicked all the time, so just keep redotting, and yeah, you will see your damage increase exponentially. Okay, just think about it. If you're facing a shaman, it's a 3 second kick. So at 5 seconds of duration on your dots, just start redotting, and then you do your unstable affliction. Okay. It's the same with stuns. If they have stuns available, just redot before, and never the biggest thing I see lower rated players do, and some high rated players that don't really play affliction do, is casting a Sable Affliction without dots on the target, which means if I kick them, they just have zero pressure. Okay, so if you get kicked on a Sable Affliction, you want to have your dots still stick. Okay, and in case you get kicked, you don't get kicked, you can free cast and you can just do all of your other damage, like Malefic Rapture, just Phantom, just drain life. Yeah, and you don't have to worry about reloading. This is not PvE. You don't really care about the pandemic windows unless you're faking every single kick. Okay, so that's how you deal high levels of damage. And you can say Maldiva, I would say Chanimals actually does this every single time. You can just watch the stream. Before he actually goes into fake casting, he just redots the target in case he gets kicked. The dots don't fall off. What's the arbitrage between kiting port, gate, soul shape and using your defensive cooldowns? This is extremely hard to answer. Why? Because it depends. It depends on the comp, it depends on the comp you're facing, it depends on what your other DPS, but usually, and I'm gonna use this game as an example, my monk wasn't sapped at all because we got in combat really fast, and still, when the rogue opened, it populates, I instantly use an ending resolve. Why? Because I don't want to use trinket, I don't want my monk to use trinket like just in the open because then it can get swapped, and I don't want to use health on, so I just walled and then I ported after the 3 ship shots, and that was around 60%. Okay, so and after that the rogue came, I just coiled fear and recovered. Okay, so what you usually want to do is use your biggest defensive cooldown on their biggest offensive cooldown. So sub rogue it's shadow blades, boomkin it's incarnation, mage it's combust, fire mage it's combust or icy veins or arcane power, and feral druid it's berserk. With warrior it's a bit different. You don't do it on avatar, but you do it on avatar plus spear, which means that you can't really kite. Every time you can't kite, so you're in a stun, you should use your defensive cooldown. Okay, so yeah, that's that. And then you use your mobility just to kite them. You don't want to get hit, okay? You have no passive damage mitigation, zero. Even with demon armor, it's really not that good, okay? So you want to be kiting all the time, and you only cast when you have space, okay? So for example, if this is the warrior, is on top of me, I'm gonna use this, it charges me, I'm not leaving, okay? I'm chilling, because I'm actually regenerating HP from it, so I'm chilling. I use it again, ellipse. Okay, I'm chilling. I know my port is there, so I'm not in range of it. I do this, and then I walk a bit. I can free cast if he actually gets to me, which he shouldn't. I just port, and I'm free casting again. Okay. Another tip is not using corruption or agony to remove spell reflect. Okay, you have this curse of weakness does nothing to you, so just use Curse of Weakness on Spell Reflect, then Unstable Affliction, keep kiting him, you have the Corruption Legendary, so you're fine, okay? You're gonna kite a warrior, even if he pops Avatar it doesn't really matter, because if he can't hit you, you're fine, okay? So you only really want to use and then an ending resolve in specific situations where you don't want to use Trinket, you don't want your healer to use Trinket, or you don't want your healer to spend money healing you, okay? So if you have no mobility, for example, a warrior pops avatar, you have no mobility, which might happen. You shouldn't, by the way, but it might. you just pop an ending result. Okay, don't be scared of using it. It's a 3-minute cooldown. It's really long, but it's okay. Um, don't bother. In current game, you are dead in a single stun. This is a lie. I get why people are saying this, but this is a lie. If you die in a single stun, it means that you already used a lot. Okay, so it's not a single stun. It's actually a long game, and you can still win. I would say that the hardest class for you to beat it's actually Sub Rogue at the moment and Windwalker. Okay, those are the two hardest classes to beat. Sub Rogue because it kills you in stuns, not one stun, but in stuns, and Windwalker because he can just sorry about that. He can just keep up with you. Okay, you use this, he uses roll, then he roots you. You use this, it rolls again, and then you port. He has the port on top of your port. Then you gate, and he just uses the flying serpent kick. Okay, so Windwalker and Rogue are the biggest problems. If you lose to them, don't beat yourself up. Against anything else, you can actually win. Be careful with reds, of course. Just keep kiting the red. I also actually had a game against a 2.4, I think, or 2.5 reds and Resto Druid, and I actually made them left. We made them leave because he couldn't keep up with me. Okay, I just guided him the whole game. He used the freedom. I actually got lucky sometimes and got it with Devour. So I slowed him again. He just hit me like a few times, and as you can see, like he only did 154k damage on me. Yeah, I did almost a double. So yeah, just I get why people are sad, kind of. I've been sad for 4 years since they removed the Soul Link and then ending resolve glyph, which was a 30% and 30% damage mitigation. But try to improve. Just talk with your healer. Try to improve. Don't blame anyone. Just try to improve, okay? Because when the buffs come, and they should come, when the buffs come, then it will be better, right? If you're losing to rogues now, maybe with the buffs and with these tips, maybe you win, okay? Or even now, you can maybe win. Um, okay, how to beat rogues? Well, how to beat rogues? It's simple. You shouldn't, okay? Let's be real about this. If the rogue is as good as you shouldn't. He has more CC than you do, he has more burst than you do. What you have going for you, it's kind of kiting, but he has 2 shadow steps because most are playing sub. So if it's with a disc priest, I think you can probably own some rogue priests. Just dot everything, don't yeah, just dot everything. Fear if they go on your healer or if they used kick and they're like going on you and your healer is in CC. Just try to kite them, just try to own them, okay? Against this Holy Paladin, you can't really own them, so you actually need to kill the rogue. Just put as much pressure as you can. Stun the rogue, coil the rogue if you need to. Just force the cloak really early, then you can get a full CC on the healer and just kill the rogue, which was what happened, okay? But don't beat yourself up. Don't blame your healer. It's really hard to heal an affliction warlock. It's actually insane to heal an affliction warlock right now, so yeah, if you can beat rogues, you can't, okay? Just don't worry. If you can, you can, good, but at some point you won't be able to beat rogues, okay? So don't beat yourself up. How to do at least decent damage in Mythic Plus? Well, this is a PV question. This is for PvP, but I'm gonna answer really quickly. You just wait, okay? You just wait for higher keys. I think above 15 with fortified weeks we are gonna be fine. Uh, right now it's gonna feel awful, I would say, because every mob just dies instantly. So yeah, but you just gotta keep your dots up and Malefic Rapture spam. That's all you can do. If I can freecast, my damage is absurd, but if I can't, it's very rough. Yes, this is the main problem with Affliction, is that Malefic Rapture, it's most of your damage. It's around 25% of your damage. Sorry. It's around 25% of your damage, which is kind of weird. That was my dog. Which is kind of weird, but But yeah, it's normal. What you can do to improve is just like I said, like if people are focusing you, you just redot for faking before using your movement. If they are redotted, it means that you already have that. And whenever you port gate, you can just cast, right? And if you can cast instead of redot after the movement speed, it means that you're gaining a few seconds to actually do more damage. Okay, so that's what I do at least. If I get a good healer in trees, it's fine, but if not, it's very very hard. That's normal. Right now, I would say that in trees, affliction is B minus, and that in twos, affliction is C minus. Okay, not even C plus or C. It's just a C minus. If you want tier lists. I personally play Shadow Play, so if they focus me, my Shadow Priest body pressures them. And this is one of the best comps you can play, it's Shadow Play. You have the Shadow Priest pressuring them, pressuring their healer, you have full dots on every single target, you don't really use fear that much, you just do damage, okay? You use MCs against, for example, Holy Paladin teams where there's no purge, or teams that have no purge use MCs with full dots, and you should actually be getting a lot of pressure through that. Okay. Another comps that I would recommend is, for example, with the Hunter. They have a lot of damage, even post nerf. They have the explosive shot build, which is really good. And with Windwalker, with a warrior, maybe with a rogue, with a frost mage, with a boomkin. So you either want a melee that actually just babysits you the whole game and don't allow the enemy team to just pressure you, or you want a ranged DPS that can just punish if free casting. Okay, that's the two plays as affliction. That's the two type of comps you can play. Okay, let's go for the last question. Shadow Fury should be instant cast for real. I agree, not as baseline obviously, but Dark Fury should give access to Shadow Fury instantly. This wouldn't help though, so you would still most likely play Mortal Coil and Hall of Terror. I can see maybe Shadow Fury with a mage, maybe, to get Shadow Fury into ship. But otherwise, I would say that Mortal Coil and Hall of Terror are superior. It just allows you to survive more. Okay, so that was it, guys. If you have any more questions, just I'm gonna leave the link to the forum post. So just submit more questions down below on the video. Just if you need help, just reach out and I will update the video. Okay. Good luck, have fun, don't overthink it. If you died, you died, go to the next game, talk with your healer what you could have done best, but after that, don't worry about it, okay? It's normal if you die against windwalkers, against rogues, against anything else, you need to see why you lost, okay? And don't beat yourself up, okay? And that's about it. See ya. Peace!